In July 2022, a small plane in San Diego had lost power mid-flight. The plane wasn't close enough to an airport, and this information was given to air traffic control. The two men inside the plane were instructed to perform an emergency landing on the nearest RD. The cameras on this Tesla show exactly that, from multiple different angles. The plane strikes a sign as it touches down. It was forced to continue driving up towards a second intersection, where it hits an SUV. The plane lost a wing, and it began leaking gas all over the road. The two inside of the SUV and the two inside of the plane were taken to the hospital. All of them suffered only minor injuries, though authorities actually commended the pilot for the landing. He managed to keep the plane on the road, doing minimal damage, considering the circumstances. Had he lost control, or even had the lights of the first intersection been green, the entire situation easily could have resulted in much worse. This happened on a highway in Massachusetts. Driving is a man named Jeffrey Code. As he's listening to the radio and making his way down the road, a large slab of ice suddenly gets dislodged from the car in front of him and flies into the air. The slab smashes into Jeffrey's windshield, immediately shattering it.
Police and prosecutors, two suspects were arrested in the Turkish capital after having scouted out possible locations for the attacks at a central square and popular bars likely to be crowded on New Year's Eve. The suspects crossed into Turkey from Syria. With the terror threat elevated, security is high in Turkey's major cities and along the Syrian.
Now completely unable to see, Jeffrey slowly pulls to the side of the road, blindly crossing two lanes as he does so. It was unhurt, as fortunately the slab hadn't completely broken through the windshield, instead leaving cracks. Across the entire thing, it also damaged a side mirror and the windshield wipers. Jeffrey admits that he likely could have avoided the slab of ice. Had he slammed on the brakes by then, you're risking losing control and getting hit by other cars, like the one right beside him, which kept him from swerving into a different lane. This dash cam video was captured on a freeway in Glendale, CA. It shows a Tesla abruptly slamming on its brakes as the driver gets out. The man is wielding some kind of lead pipe. He approaches the car with the dash cam and immediately starts slamming the window. Somehow the window doesn't shatter, after which the man simply gets back in his car and continues driving later down the road. He was captured on the same dashcam attacking another car. The car is shown speeding away from the attacker. The incident was reported to police, but the Tesla didn't have any license plates, so they were unable to locate it. Over the next few days, police received multiple more calls reporting similar experiences. One of these was also caught on dashcam.
Wow. What?
After a few more days, police were finally able to locate the man. He was 36-year-old Nathaniel Ratamuk, who already had a lengthy criminal record, with active warrants out for his arrest. Among the recent random road rage incidents throughout earlier years, he also took part in serious criminal threats and stalking in a total of 8 different states. Across the country, the reasoning behind the highway attacks was never made clear. Currently, Nathaniel's being kept in jail on a bail set at over $5 million. This happened in May of 2021. The dash cam footage shows Michael Shackelford driving a San Antonio RD. After leaving his bank for work, as he's driving, a car passes him with one of the back doors open and a woman yelling for help. Reading the situation, Michael diverts from his original route and begins following the car, while simultaneously calling the police.
Hey, I need police ASAP. I'm on 410 South by Ingram Park Mall. A lady is screaming outside her Ford, a gray Ford, exiting Ingram Road right now. She's trying to get out of a vehicle and the guy won't let. No, she's not exiting. They got back on 410. I don't know. It says 410 South from Ingram going towards like Marbach area.
After a few minutes on the highway, the car finally takes an exit. Now at slower speeds, the woman in the back seat sees an opportunity and exits the moving vehicle.
Exit by the academy now. Okay. Military Drive. We're in the frontage road. What is this guy doing? She's screaming and kicking in the car. He's erratically. She's trying to get out of the car. She's opening the door. She's trying to jump out. He sped up and he couldn't get out. She jumped out! She jumped out! She jumped out! Ma'am, get in my truck! Get in my truck! Okay, I'm going to the police station right now.
He has my car, he has everything.
The one on Calabria, yeah.
To see a police officer and flag him down, they retreated to a nearby parking lot where a medical crew arrived. The woman was brought to a hospital as a precaution, but ultimately was determined that she only suffered minor injuries. The woman had been taken against her will by her own husband, who refused to let her go. She had to resort to yelling out to nearby drivers for help. The husband was later found by police and arrested. This on April 2, 2015. Paul Yearley was driving on the highway to his work in his Ford Mustang when he suddenly started feeling nauseous. He started getting tunnel vision and he realized something was off. So he turned off his cruise control. That's when he recalls everything going black, and he passes out while driving, his foot coming to rest on top of the gas pedal, pushing it to the floor. He narrowly misses a power line pole that could have ended his life and continues driving unconscious into a field. He's then steered back towards the highway, but luckily is unable to clear the hill as he starts driving back towards the fence. He finally comes to putting his hands back on the steering wheel and pressing the brakes. This was the first and only time Paul had ever blacked out. One of the passing cars noticed him in the field and stopped to help him and call the police. He was taken to the ER. Multiple tests were performed to determine what caused the son in loss of consciousness. The main cause turned out to be a hereditary low blood pressure condition. Paul was treated and was able to make a full recovery. On the morning of February 24, 2015, police would receive multiple calls from a neighborhood in New Jersey, reporting a strong smell of gas in the air. Police, firefighters, and utility workers would respond to the calls. They suspected a gas leak and were quickly trying to locate where it was coming from. Meanwhile, at 75 different homes in the nearby area were evacuated. Then caught on one of the responding police cruisers' dash cams, a sudden explosion. The explosion sent debris from the house flying out in every direction Throughout the neighborhood, the home was blown clear from its base, though it was under renovation at the time and therefore empty of people. However, if 15 people would still be injured from the blast, most of which being firefighters and utility workers, some even being critically injured and having to be airlifted to nearby emergency rooms, it's believed the explosion was caused by a 2-inch gas main that broke. But how it broke in the first place or what ignited the blast is still unclear. It's November 19th in 2017 in Clearwater. FL police cruisers, both with their own dash cams, were responding to a traffic stop on North Keene RD. Just 2 minutes after they arrived, a small plane hovering in the air slowly comes into view, but it quickly becomes clear that it's descending and heading straight at them. The plane's right wing clips a tree wall descending, causing the aircraft to spin out and forcing it to the side of the road just minutes earlier. The 4-seater plane had taken off from a nearby airport flying. It was 61-year-old Mark Allen Benedict, accompanied by one other passenger. Shortly into the flame, their engines started failing. Mark reported this back to the airport and further explained to them that he didn't think he can make it back. Mark didn't have many options as the state of the one engine he had was only continuing to worsen. This is what forced him to crash land on the road, a road which just so happened already of police present. Despite the terrible nature of the crash, Mark and the other passenger on board were able to walk away from the wreckage with minimal injuries. No one on the ground was injured.